Will and Jada Smith. Now, you know a little bit more about this than I do. I've only kind of read a few things. When I saw what was popping off, it immediately triggered me, and you were like, but you kind of
I mean, TikTok that was cracking me up because people were just like,
here we go
why
again.
why are we on your speed dial to hear, get a journal, write it down.
Yeah.
We don't need to know all of this information.
First, they what was it? The first thing was the entanglement thing and stuff. The guy in the men's sphere, man, we were saying a lot of the same stuff. Like this woman cannot stop belittling this man and tearing this man down. This great man, but I'm gonna tell you what I was talking about earlier. So from on people.com, People's Magazine. .com. It was so we're talking about why is that trending? That's the segment we're on right now. Jada did an interview plugging her book, and then she let some new information came out that none of us asked for about her relationship with Will. That allegedly that they've been technically separated and pretty much mentally divorced for the past how many years?
We're divorced, except for it's just not on a piece of paper. It's not a legal divorce.
AKA, so you still married, pretty much. You still married. I understand. I understand the process. I recognize the separating and stuff like that. But with all this stuff that's been going on between them, so for the past 6 years, you've been letting 7 years, you've been letting the rumor go on that y'all in open marriage, this and that and the other, that you cheating on him and Will deserves better. And now you're like, oh, but we've been separated, like. And you know how I feel.
And then according to her, it's going to stay that way for forever.
To the point
because she has no, they
interest
according to her, they have no intention of
getting
legally divorced, because that was something they never wanted to do.
So when Taylor Swift came out with that song, "We Never Ever Getting Back Together," she was like, "That's damn right." I mean,
which just doesn't make. We are divorced, not on paper, but we never want to get divorced. But you just said you really were.
On that business side of it, the empire and all that stuff, the brand, they work together and stuff. But I mean, look, The Rock and his ex-wife, she's still his manager. So you can still have the brand and just not be together. I mean, these things are possible. But with all the guys and even women that had Will's back and was if you feel like you're being it seems like Will is the type of guy. He mentioned that he wants to be in a successful marriage. He wants this to work. He was afraid of being a failure at it and all that stuff. And then people would take his side and say stuff like, well, she seems like she's taking advantage of that, treating him like trash because she knows he won't leave. And I even felt the same way a little bit too, like what Kevin Samuel said when he was still alive. This is the type of woman that would tear him down, and she's using his A-list status to become more blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, I was seeing that and I was agreeing. But how many times does this shit have to happen before we start looking at Will like?
Most of the comments and things were like, is Will aware of this?
Yeah.
Does he know that there's? But now this is what I told you. I just saw TikTok.
Okay.
And obviously I haven't read Jada's book. I don't really.
If she's gonna get into some details about some kinky shit, I might buy it.
But apparently Will put one out in 2021. Mm-hmm. He put a book out about himself
that nobody knew about.
Well, no, obviously people did know. We didn't know. I don't read. I'm not really one to read those kind of books. But a lady was like, she made a TikTok who was like, clearly y'all didn't read his book, because he pretty much said this 2 years ago. He didn't say a date. He didn't say since 2016. He didn't say a date. But she read an excerpt where it said they had went on some kind of they were on a flight somewhere. I don't know where this was at. And he told her whatever had taken place on this trip or event or whatever, he told her when they got back, look, I retire from trying to make you happy.
Yeah.
Because I cannot. I'm done. I can't make you happy. I cannot do this anymore. So I think what's best for us is for you to do you and me to do me. That's the way it's going to be.
I mean,
and he was like, and then he wrote on more that he was like, I think we got married in our 20s and we were still kids. And all these years, we are still trying to heal our inner children who are broken, and it's not working.
Yeah.
And so it's time to let it go. But it didn't have a date or anything, so this lady was saying, like, he told you right then that they were done. Y'all just didn't y'all didn't read the book or whatever.
But I'm like, but still, it's still then, after all this defense of Will Smith and whatnot, like seeing that he's like, it seems like the kind of guy that's really afraid of being in this failed marriage. He's really trying, I mean, and people that's been having his back about the whole, I can't believe you still staying with the woman that's constantly dissing you in public and pining over a dead man with Tupac Shakur and stuff like that. After a while, after all these years of the men and the women that's pretty much been having Will's back about this, about the disrespect and stuff, when can I'm now at the point where I'm now stopping that. I'm like, dude, this is on you now. There's no real excuse anymore, Will. The kids are, usually people always say stuff like, I stay for the kids. Your kids are grown now. You've gone through this entanglement stuff. You've gone through it. And now that Jada's confirming that it was not about an open marriage, we just been separate, then what's the point? I can understand it with those people who say, I stay for the kids, but people tell you never to do that. In our relationship, you told me that. I said I was thinking that same thing. You gave me that advice that based on what you went through and what I was going through earlier before we got married and whatnot, and when we first started dating. And I that is 100% the facts. Like that whole I'm staying for, I don't know. Then I'm like, are you doing it for the business thing? Like the way it looks like how Beyonce and Jay-Z are staying together. Like Beyonce talks about independent women this, independent women that, but she ain't leaving her husband. She makes those single women songs, but she's married. So it's like, I say, Will, you deserve to be happy, yes. But you also deserve to be publicly happy in a marriage or in a relationship. And if Jada is constantly telling you that she's not willing to give you that 100%, or is constantly doing things that contradicts that image of the marriage that you want, if y'all been separated for 7 years and that now it feels like that scene in the Oscars was like a last effort to try to prove that like something to get her back. But she, I
mean, I'm like, if y'all want to stay married and live two separate lives, do what you want to do. I don't care what you do.
I would have said that before, but I don't agree that now. Their kids are grown.
No, but I'm saying if you want to do that,
yeah,
you should still have if we're going to do that, then there still should be some boundaries.
Like the public embarrassment. That shit was misdirected to Chris Rock. That should have been not the slap, the message.
Don't put my business out there. Don't put my name out there. Don't put my stuff out there. Like, it should be private. There are things that should be private. That was a lot of TikTokers were saying. Some things we don't need to know. Some things y'all can keep to yourself. And everyone will be fine. Because
you can't convince me that I was talking to you about this earlier. He's Will Smith. He ain't. I know that in a separation you can't be as intimate with your spouse as you want to be, and then when you realize that you're Will Smith, you can have anybody that you want. She could have anybody that she wants. But so you're never gonna convince me that Will Smith, if he's not sleeping with Jada on a regular, he's sleeping with somebody on on a rotation or whatever. But the one thing I'll give Will, you don't hear nothing about it. You're not going to convince me that he's not having sex with somebody, whether it's Jada or somebody. But what have we heard? We've at least heard about that, that rapper. So that's one advantage. So it's like, what's the point? Everybody already thinks that this is odd, that she's not respectful, that blah, 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 and all this stuff. Then that damn slap done done messed up that was the thing that destroyed the chances of a Aladdin 2. That movie made $1 billion, and Disney's like, nope. You won an Oscar after that movie, after during that time after that movie came out, and you're not going to get a sequel to a movie that made $1 billion because of your action, for whatever reason, because you were defending the honor of your wife that constantly, puts this business out there that should be in a damn journal out there in public.
And then the number of times he was on her Red Table Talk.
I would have never done that.
Talking about this stuff, like.
I'm not going to monetize my humiliation. Fuck that. But, I mean.
For somebody that y'all are supposedly living your two separate lives, but then you need to get on a show and then talk about your feelings and that everything.
That's what therapy is for.
And that is private. They keep that under lock and key. You don't put it out there for everyone.
I told you the moment I would have divorced her was when that whole thing with that letter from Willow to Tupac happened. Like before, not when it came out publicly. I mean when it happened and Will found out. That's when you should have divorced Jada, because Willow was born years after that man died, and for her to be writing a letter wishing that Tupac was still alive to make her mommy happy, you cannot convince me that wasn't engineered and coerced. What's the word? Coerced by Jada for that girl to do that at that young age. And it was just totally disrespectful to her father. And you can't change the past, but Peter
wants to know, is the Zoom link the same?
I put the Zoom link. I put the Zoom link in the community tab. It should work. I haven't turned it on yet because we're not near that yet, but it should. It's the same. It's the link that I put in the community tab is what we're doing. But thanks for that. Well, that just reminds me. Let's just talk about, see if anybody's talking about what we're talking about.
Say Peter has stuff to say.
Okay, let me make sure that. Oh my goodness, what's going on with the? I forgot to hit the refresh button. Let me see if I can get that to work. There we go. Peter Lane says, "Salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, what's going on?" Okay, let's get to see if you say anything about. Thanks for the super chat. Appreciate you, Peter, as always. Brianna Jasmine says, Brianna Jasmine celebrates 1 month of anniversary. We were gonna have another silent stream.
She was thinking.
When the mic wasn't working. Oh yeah. Okay.
So I had to make sure they could hear. She said, yeah, they could hear.
Let's see. Oh, I can't wait to hear this. I think that's Sean's sister. I can't wait to hear this. Let's see. Batman. Did I get it? Damn, Nat was on the microphone. Let's see. Peter Lane says Jada is pretty much trolling Will at this point. Yeah. It's like she gets a kick out of it. It's like, why you can't tell me it's for the kids. You can't tell me it's for anything else. The marriage is already has been disrespectful for years. Okay, according to that book nobody knew about, you've already are done with this BS. Then just divorce. Did she threaten? Did you not sign a prenup? Are you afraid that she's going to take half of the? Just countersue. With all the if there was no arranged open marriage thing, if that wasn't a lie, and y'all just were separated, then the infidelity and all that is. I know it's hard it's hard to argue, but what are you afraid of at this point? And at this point, who cares? Will Smith is what, in his 50s now? Yeah, okay. Let's say Jada gets half of your income. So, who cares? You're still Will Smith. Half of your income. So, okay, who gives a damn? That's a small price to pay to see if I saw Will Smith out with years from after the divorce. He's engaged to a new a woman, and they're and it's the opposite of what he's been going through for the past whatever years with Jada, and and he can be publicly happy. I'm sorry. I mean, there you go. I mean, everybody has that wishy-washy back and forth shit, but there is a million, like.
Say Will is 55, Jada is 52.
Yeah. I want to co-sign what Chris is saying. Appreciate you, man. Everybody does. Everybody wants to co-sign what I'm saying. Yes, their family unit is a business. It's all about the business. That's all it's about. It just reminds me of the Jay-Z thing and what. But you don't see all that shit coming. You don't see Beyonce constantly throwing the fact that she might have smashed Drake in Jay-Z's face and stuff. Like, you don't see that stuff. Like it's ridiculous. And catching up. Peter, I got something. Peter got something to say, but yeah, Peter on fire about this topic.
Peter says, he's porking someone for sure.
He's Will Smith. You ain't gonna convince me that Jada is the only one, stepping out the marriage, and Will can't do nothing about it. Like, he's just being respectful about their arrangement, but. I mean, I guess that's just the way it is. And during that interview, I forgot to bring it up real quick. I wanted to show that was something that popped up. This is the interview that she had with People Magazine. Jada says, "We are still figuring it out." Jada says of the state of their marriage. She says they had been separated for 6 years before the Oscars in 2022. We've been doing some really heavy duty work together. We just got deep love for each other, and we are going to figure out what that looks like for us. So that came in from Jada in regards to the separation in their marriage and everything. All right, that's fine. Figure it out. I say divorce. Get this shit over with. This ridiculous.
Maybe his kink is public humiliation.
Yeah, MD said, I think they're both weirdos. I mean, I'm starting to agree. At first, I was sympathetic to Will, but now it's like, dude, like maybe he's into it. I mean, hey, I ain't gonna kink shame. Like, you like to be dominated like that. I like it too, right, baby? Yeah, come on, die. I don't care. But yeah, they're both a little strange. The whole family is. Hell yeah. The only, at this point, and she was the one I didn't think had the least amount of talent. Now I'm starting to come around. I think Willow is the last hope of it. First, I would have said it would have been Jaden, but now I think Willow, because Willow is starting to show a different side in her writing, her songwriting ability, and I'm starting to get some respect for it. Like, listen to the lyrics and the music that she's putting out now. She stays on this path. Willow might be the only sane thing that comes out of that whole thing. And I didn't have any hope for her at first. Maybe together. Maybe the kink is public humiliation. Yeah. I mean, some guys like it to have their balls stepped on. Well, let us know what you guys think. Let's move on. What's the next topic, babe?